Hello, gentle viewers. This is Out Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In our last episode, we had an uninspired season, I think is the best way to put it, and we didn't even make it to the playoffs. So, we have a couple of things to think about before we continue. Possibly the most important is where are we going forward? Was 85 and 77 a blip? Or are we in fact should be tearing down a bit and trying to get us to where we need to be? So we've now won less than 90 games in 3 of the past 5 years. Now, I say that and we won the World Series one of the other years. So we're not a terrible team, but we're definitely struggling. And we need to find a way to efficiently spend the resources we do have in an attempt to remain relevant. Our owner wants us to lose an awful lot of salary. And I don't really have an obvious play there to shed salary. Unless we can say... Yeah, I don't really see a path to actually saving money this season, which is going to make the owner grumpy. I might get fired. Because, let's look at his owner goals, right? Plus 500, I can do that. Make money. And cut payroll by $22 million. I don't see a path to do that either. Unless we can trade Bill Garett. And I think for this cut to be financially viable, plus the fact that he is already very badly tanking, I think we have to trade him. Almost regardless of what we could get in return. Oh, I do need to advance a day so that I can do more trading. That's fine. Arbitration is all dealt with. Ryan Brown, what was your issue? Yeah, I've got to cut some bait on some of these more expensive players. Ryan Brown, what was your deal? Oh, it's like you're a pissy little bitch. That's right. Because you want to be... You're grumpy that I didn't make you the closer. And you're grumpy that you played poorly, so you're taking it out on me. That's kind of a dick move, but alright, dude. So let's go ahead and jump forward just a touch. So that I can get some more shopping days. Yes, of course, you are correct, game. I do have to activate everyone on the IL. Whether I want to or not. Alright. Shoma Fujihira is an amazing coach, so I'm willing to go a bit farther to keep him. I'll give you 150 grand. We'll see if it works. The next thing I'm going to do, though, right now is I got to get rid of Bill Garett. I can no longer afford him, and I'm probably going to get fired if I don't cut payroll. And he's the easiest choice. He's the easiest solution at that. Oh, I remember the issue. They're more likely to take him after the league year rolls around. So we're going to wait till free agents file for that. That's what I was doing last episode. I remember now. I saw Thor Love and Thunder for the second time yesterday, and because I keep seeing the trailer for the new Avatar movie, I keep having the song stuck in my head. I will absolutely give Robbie another chance at that salary to see if he can be a good starter again. On all honesty, I probably honestly should have considered non-tendering gender or trading him, but he was injured, so I was kind of stuck. I didn't really have another route out of that scenario, so it's fine. We'll figure it out. Would you jerks just sign already? For God's sake. I will offer 200 grand because you're that bloody good. But if you don't take it, then you don't take it. I can't force you to. Who the hell even is this guy? Oh, were you a Rule 5 draft pick from me? Maybe? Oh, I acquired you in trade. That's right. I guess I do have to keep you, don't I? Alright. Excellent. No gold gloves for the Pirates. That is understandable. Kurt Coates got reliever of the year. Why am I flagging him? Or are you one of the former Pirates? You are one of the former Pirates. Well, I'm glad to see that you've done well since I traded you. Good on you. But I said, why the hell do I care who won in the American League? I was like, oh, okay. Excellent. I'm very happy with this trade. I'm not convinced his future is as a starter, but I'm gonna make use of him one way or the other. And so I'm pretty happy with that trade, with that signing. I've got to stop paying more for familiarity. I think that's one of my biggest traps. I've got to be willing to move on from people when they get too expensive. Just because I have lots and lots of money, I have to be willing to go through some churn so that we can get the best possible team rather than keeping a core together that may not be worth keeping together. Good. He did decline the qualifying offer. I don't mind that. I'm not quite gonna do full rebuild, but I definitely need to be reasonable. So we're going to run right down and vote for the only person who matters, Garrett Gunnels. I will vote for CJ Abrams. I don't see why not. You know what, Kemp Alderman? I'm being unfair to you. I'm going to vote for you too. I mean, the man hit 500 homers. That's got a value all its own. Elijah Armstrong, no. Some big nopes happening here. Ruben Briseño, I will vote for. He's a little closer to what I think was new Hall of Fame standard. Angel Janau would have to be defensively a genius for me to vote for him, because otherwise he's just too flawed. I'll vote for some Rodolfo there. He is a worthy Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Jorge Maldonado, I will vote for him given his raw combination of power and speed. That's pretty impressive, even if his overall offensive portfolio is not the most exciting. I think that's quite good. I'll vote for Mike Marion. No to PJ Morlando. He's close, but ultimately I don't think he is worthy. We gotta get Dan Odeman, obviously. I'll vote for Trey Snyder, even though I don't think it's going to matter. I love a man named Kevin the Bat. Jordan Tercios, I think, is worthy. I think he's going to have a tough climb, though, because he is a first baseman that didn't have a huge amount of power. I think that's going to hurt his candidacy, but I still have... Oh, he's actually last spot on my ballot. And I can do without any of these guys. So we're going to submit the ballot. As far as predictions go, I could see Kemp Alderman getting in and maybe Gunnels. But Gunnels is already backsliding in vote percentage. We might lose him entirely, but we'll see. Alright. Yeah, someone's going to pay Steve McDonald a shit ton of money. And justifiably so. So my present salary for the team, I'm presently paying $190 million. The owner wants a profit this year. Okay, I must be the world's biggest potato. Why can I never see whether or not we're going to make a profit? Do I need to fix that somehow? I definitely want my cost-efficient players and my cost efficiency in general. Always appreciate that. And then I think I want the accounting view, because I think the accounting view will be most likely to tell me whether or not we're going to profit. Okay, here we go. I kept looking at this, but I wasn't looking at this. And how big a profit does the owner want? The owner would like a profit of $24 million. I basically had to cut $40 million or take in a lot more revenue. I'm going to go ahead and increase ticket prices by $2. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. We've been a very successful team for a long time. I'm hoping that I can squeeze a bit more out of the fans. So, we've got to dispose of Bill Garett. Wow, that sounds terrible, but I have to do it. Well, no matter what. Can I get one prospect? I cannot. So I'm going to have to eat some salary to trade him. I need to cut $20 million from my payroll, so I will pay 25% of his salary. Nothing. 30%. Nothing. Yeah, this is going to be the issue, right? Nobody has a reason to trade for him. Nobody. If I half his salary, I'm only cutting payroll by $18 million, so I've got to cut it by more than 20. So 40 is as high as I can go. What if I ask for all types of player? Tomorrow. What if I retain nothing of his contract, but I take on a veteran? Alright, I don't want Jesus Rosas, but he's way cheaper than Garett, and that actually gets me the salary savings that I'm looking for. I wonder if I could get them to eat some of his salary, just for funsies. No? Alright. That's fun. Sorry, fans. I had to do what the owner wanted, and I've definitely reduced the payroll to where he wants it. Now, I have no intentions of keeping Jesus Rosas. He serves less than no function to me. I'm going to try to trade you now. Can I get a prospect for him? Probably not. Can I get somebody else? No, I can't. That's fine. We just have a really overpriced pinch hitter on our roster. Alright, I have a tiny bit of money to spend if I wanted to. Oh, we would actually earn enough money here. Because this is just year to date, right? So if we can get some better stuff, I think we'll make enough money to make the owner happy. I'm going to... Somebody recommended this. I guess the more you put international scouting, the more money you get. And they're more likely to sign with you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick down amateur scouting by 5% and increase this by... I'm going to kick down amateur scouting to 20. And then I'm going to kick this down by 3 to get us up to 40%. Because spending the $5 million is going to be the quickest path to us getting that. I'm then going to reduce minor league scouting by 5% so I can get major league scouting up to 25, or amateur scouting. Because this is going to be a year when we might actually get a decent draft pick. So I want to be ready to attack that. I'm not going to look at any free agents. I think we're just going to run it back with this team just to save some money. And then decide what to do next offseason. We're going to decide to pump the brakes a little bit. We're not doing a full rebuild. But I'm wanting to let some contracts expire before I get involved in free agency again. Unless I can find a really great deal. I guess actually I should at least look for great deals, right? It doesn't cost you anything to find, say, another starter. Wait, who else did I lose? Oh, Josh Lynch, right. Well, that's Ruben Valdivia. If you're ever going to win the job, it's going to be now. Second base is either going to be Mancia or Henderson. Not Henderson. Before I go any farther, I'm going to trade Henderson. Right? Or am I going to keep him in the outfield? So two things give me pause about our pal here, Mr. Henderson. He's not hitting, and he's not good enough defensively to stay in the infield. He's going to get kicked out to the outfield. While he might be an excellent player someday, he's so far from that right now that I think the best use of our draft pick here would be to actually go ahead and trade him for a different prospect. I only want prospects for him, my friend. Let us see what you can offer me. Is anybody in the greens? I will look at Elijah Brooks here in just a second. Actually, I'll look at him right now. Or Banks, rather. Defensively, you're wonderful, but you're not going to hit. Like, ever. So I don't think that is the best choice. Ideally, I want a starter or an infielder. What do we have here in Al Crozin? You're perfectly cromulent, but that's about the nicest thing I can say about you. You're not really a game changer by any stretch of the imagination. You're not a starter. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, a rag arm isn't the worst thing for an infielder to have, I suppose. Alright. I'm going to try to get Capelas and Patton. If I can get both of them, then I will chalk this up as a good deal, and I will move on with my life. So that breaks you a bit, huh? You can have Rivera. I agree that I don't think we're getting enough, so I'm going to look for at least one more player. I can't acquire Tesla. I'm just going to make this trade. It feels really disappointing, and I wish I traded Henderson earlier now. But the fact is, he just doesn't have a role in the team because he's not good enough defensively or offensively. Now, in 5 to 10 seasons, this trade may be one I end up regretting by quite a lot. But for right now, I don't think he's ever going to make the majors for this team, barring lots of injuries. So we're just going to trade him now and get the most we can out of him. Okay, so that's Henderson dealt with. Hello, Robbie Rodriguez. Where the hell did you come from? We're my first round draft pick. I see. All right. Hey, Robbie. Stop pitching. Never do it again. How did Mr. Rodriguez do as a hitter? That's what I care about. Alright, he definitely needs a bit more seasoning. He's only 18. But yeah, his future is definitely not as a pitcher. That's not what I drafted him for. I drafted him because he's got some pretty sick offensive chops if he makes it. Okie dokie. So, free agency time. What could I use more than anything? That'd be somebody quite cheap. Quite cheap indeed. My payroll has to be 170, so I could basically spend 1 million and that's it. I could bring in Dave Edwards, but no, I can only spend 1 million exactly. All players, please. I could bring back Josh Lynch. I'm just not going to because I need to move on from him because he wasn't that great. Steve Jasinski would be a perfectly cromulent reliever. Oh, he's an outfielder. 900K for a reasonably good backup would be tempting, but alas. Alack. I'm stuck with this jerk salary. Can I get anybody to eat this garbage contract for almost anything? No. What if I half his salary? I just want some payroll flexibility so I can get a player that doesn't suck in his place. I mean, I could get Joe back. I don't know where I'd play him, though. Nah, you're nothing special. Only 75% of his contract. I'm looking for somebody that actually gets me something I need, like a quality reliever or a second baseman I can borrow for a year. I could get Mike Rivas. I mean, again, I'd rather have something good, but at least this way he's off my payroll. If 50% of him is anyway. Maybe I'll trade for him. I'm going to start reducing the salary. You can have Padilla. That actually save me even more money. What if I cut this to no money? You soak the entire contract. What if I offered you Henry... No, not Henry Salgado. I love Henry Salgado. What the fuck am I talking about? What if I offered you Jesus Arana? That doesn't move the needle at all. That's fine. You can have Virgil Hill. Alright, now I've got scads of money to spend. I've got quite a bit. I now have, in point of fact, about 10 million to spend. And I like that quite a lot. That gives me some flexibility here to sign a really good reliever. Like Mr. Josh Wiederholt, for instance. Done. I'll give you 2.4 million for a year. I think you're worth that. Even if you do have crappy health. I mean, it's only 2.4 million. What do I care? Do we have a trustworthy stopgap second baseman? I ain't bringing back Steve McDonald. He can get fucked. I got better things to spend my money on. We could bring back our old friend Bobby Herrera for 7 million. No thanks. I don't think Micah Young's worth 4 million, my dudes. Nah, you don't really do much for me. Like, you're not actively objectionable, but I'm hoping I can get better than that. So right now our starting second baseman is Alex Mancia. So I need a top quality middle infielder backup, which might be Tyler Sanders, but Sanders can only play second and doesn't have the arm to play anywhere else. I could also promote Sanders and let Mancia be a utility guy. Could give Jonathan Webb another chance. See if he can stick in the majors. We got good old Brad White. I would pay a little bit for a reasonably good backup infielder, though. Mr. Bueno here is S. No Bueno. Yeah, I'll sign Ed Pena as a quality backup. Oh, you're not getting a starting lineup, my friend. There we go. I never attempted to bring back Luis Guevara. That was a mistake. I couldn't have afforded that anyway, though. Like, holy shit, guys. But yeah, that is a very fair point. I've got plenty of pitchers, but I do need to come to a couple of decisions here with at least some of them in the very near future. Wonder how much McDonald ends up getting. I get a supplementary first round pick. Oh yeah, he got paid. And you're dumber than shit, Columbus, to give a guy that much money. I feel very happy about that. I am quite pleased about the savings I just earned there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, let me quickly check this out here. Nobody here is worth putting on the 40-man. I am going to go ahead and immediately put Tyler Sanders on the 40-man. I think he's got a fair chance to actually win the job out of spring training. Mancia might too. I'm just trying to keep my options open here. I don't want to give Cerulli a giant contract yet, but he's getting there. If he can continue to play at a pretty high level, I think there's a very reasonable chance of us locking him up a bit. I doubt he'll have been traded by the time you read this, but I saw that the Nationals might have to trade Juan Soto because he's not taking their deal, which I thought was pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. All players, please. Damn it, I saw two players I was about to jump on, and they're both gone. Unfortunate. If I'm gonna acquire somebody, I'd like to grab someone who's really good at striking people out. Ivan Guerrero is not a starter, but no, I don't think so. I don't think I want any of these guys. Maybe you, actually. Mr. Sacco Dane-Ouden, because you've got so many bloody pitches. And you're a lefty. Yes, I will draft you. I like the cut of your jib, sir. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want anyone else. That does grumpify me, by the way. I was gonna jump all the fuck over Kevin Jones. Not Kevin Jones. Where is the guy that looked really awesome? He was a second baseman. Was it Kevin Jones? I thought it wasn't. Yeah, it was actually Kevin Jones I was thinking I would try to grab, but oh well. Gonna go to the Hall of Fame voting. Justice for Gunnels, fuckos. Get him in. Alright, we got Ed Pena and we got Wiederholt, and I think those are both very fine signings. Oh my god, really? His vote share went up, but the problem is he's hovering around that 58% mark. If he can't at least break through into 70, I don't think he's ever going to get voted in. Which obviously would be completely unacceptable, and we have to burn down the Hall of Fame. That's just how it has to be. Alright, I don't care about the World Baseball Classic this time around. No thanks. I wish you well, but I am not interested. I feel... I don't think we made enough raw improvements to definitely sit here and tell you with a straight face that we're definitely a Hall of Fame or a World Series team this year. But remember, damn son, you didn't have much velocity to lose. Niebus losing velocity too. Sean Hill is improving significantly. That's excellent. I do like that quite a lot. So, why do I still have some hope for the future? Because of Henry Salgado and Sean Hill. These are two very young outfielders that didn't really play last season. If Valdivia, Salgado, and Sean Hill can all play the way that we know that they can, I'm going to have a terrifying offense. It's just going to be fantastic. Not very good defensively. Oh, no, that's right. We put Cerulean right and let Salgado DH. And Valdivia, I'm sure, can handle center field. So we're going to see the results of all this, but I at least have some reasonable amount of faith in my lineup. Pitching staff, it's a bit thin at the moment. In point of fact, get lost Ouden. No. We will see about him. We're just going to go to spring training right now. But yeah, that's what gives me hope. Is we have two very, very young outfielders. Well, one's a quote-unquote outfielder. Plus, Kanagiani looks like he can be possibly quite special. I think we have enough team here to see some pretty incredible things if everything works out as it should. That's the rub, right? Is while we do have a tremendous amount of young talent, it is not flawless young talent, at least not yet. Alright. Go ahead and do your thing, game. Why do you want Brione starting? I mean, I guess he's not awful, but it seems kind of silly. Alright. Let's actually go for a 6-man rotation, though. I do like having the longer rotation in spring training because it gives lots of people some extra time to work. To put in lay work. Lineups. Do your thing, bench coach. I don't agree with playing Akamura over Valdivia. I want Valdivia to get a proper shot here in spring training. Akamura isn't here to be an everyday center fielder. You're playing Brad White at second. Oh, yes, you're only playing against right-handed pitching. That's fine. We can see how that works here just in spring training. We've got some pretty incredible young talent here in the outfield, which gives me hope for the future, even if we don't have a lot of top quality support. John Deek, do everyone a favor and just retire at this point? Okay. I wouldn't mind grabbing a quality reliever or two, but I want to see how the rest of this roster shakes out before I make any rash decisions about who to trade and who to keep. Delete. I didn't really care for the original Avatar movie. But maybe I'm just not being fair about it. The visuals were more breathtaking. You saw the story was kind of hackneyed. Who ended up acquiring Josh Lynch? Oh, Rusty Oliver signed a new contract with Seattle. And you're now playing in Boston. Well, I wish you well, Josh Lynch. Since you are a member of the Eternal Pirates Club, I'm sure you'll eventually end up on my roster again in some capacity. Like poor Mike, what's his name? I don't remember his name anymore. Not Mike Sanders. I signed him to like 5 consecutive 1-year contracts. He could play center field too. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. That's fine. I'm getting old after all. But yeah, that was hilarious how every season I needed a new middle infielder that could play centers, kept bringing him back. Good times. Remember Nate Brooks? We basically forced to become a starter, dragging him out from being a reliever. That was pretty wild. I remember him. Alright, friends, let us start trimming some fat. We're going to start the pitching staff, which has 18 pitchers, I am told. That's too many pitchers. 5 must go. Well, 1, 2, 'I have a bunch of pitchers that are roughly the same competence level. Which is obviously not ideal. I want Dan Day to be a reliever. He doesn't have the stamina to be a starter. Plus, he'd be one of my better relievers as a reliever. Collins to the minors. Carrillo, I'd rather you start every day in the majors than get stuck in... Or start every day in the minors and get stuck in the majors. Especially when you might still become an excellent starter. I'd rather you spend some time there. Corey and Moya are going to stay on the roster. Nieves, maybe not. I should be able to trade him, right? Or do I just... No, keeping him as reliever actually does make some sense. I think I will add him to the 40-man and let him make the roster as a reliever. If I could trade Jesus Moya, I'd be pretty happy, and I don't think anyone's going to take him, though. We're going to try it and see if somebody else will give him a starting job, which I think is what he really wants. But I got a feeling they're just going to tell me no because he's too expensive. You know, Moya's going to be gone at the end of the season anyway because I'm going to opt out of his contract. So I guess I can keep him for one final season and let him start. What is Moya rated at as a starter these days? He's actually worse than Briones across the board. So I guess you are going to be a very expensive reliever. I'm going to get rid of Alden. I'm going to return him back to the Inferno. The Disco Inferno. This brings me up to 13 pitchers. I think 13 is a good number. So let's go ahead and set it up. Let's set that shit up. Pitching ratings, if you please. So Robbie the Hero is our ace. Then Jose Brown. Then Edgar Guzman. Jared Teat. And I guess Briones can be our starter, or do we want No, McLaughlin I think should be our fifth starter. I think he's still got something to offer, and I want him to get into the rotation so we can see if he can actually unlock it. But I think he's a better choice than Briones, who will instead be our emergency starter, long reliever. All right. Jesus Moya is going to be our lefty killer who also does some middle relief work. You're going to be our emergency starter and secondary lefty killer. Nieves, I just want you to do middle relief. I said middle relief game. Middle relief, long relief. Just to see how you work out. So who is our closer? It's Josh Wiederholt. There's pretty much no choice in the matter there. If I look only at relievers... I like Dan Day a little bit better than Ryan Brown as our setup guy. But the two of you are definitely going to get some middle relief innings in. I wish you had more strikeout pitchers, but we've got enough quality pitchers that I think we have a reasonable bullpen. I know it's not fantastic, but I think it's good enough, especially given that we're not paying very much for it. That's very important to me, obviously. If we get Gender back this season, I think we have a better bullpen, but we'll see what happens here. Alright, now we've got to dispose of a few extra players here. Gotta get down to 26. So Hawk and Fulford, you can both be waived and designated for assignment. Webb and Sanders are actually kind of the same guy. Webb's a little bit better defensively. He can play third. I guess I will send Sanders back to the minors for now. Brad White. I'd almost rather let Webb start there. I'm going to try to get White out through waivers. That'll be fine. Rowe to the minors. Noboa to the minors. And Tucker to the minors. Okay. I will be right back, my friends, and then I will set my lineup. Alright, my friends. Let us go ahead and set up our lineup. We're going to start by killing everything, as is my want. And then we're going to look at our batting ratings. So, we have several candidates for number 3 hitter. We have Cerulli, Pozo, and Hill. I think those would be our best 3 choices. Now, the interesting question is actually who hits leadoff. And part of me wonders if letting Hill lead off isn't a bad idea. Not because he's not amazing, but more importantly because it'd be wasting his power. Valdivia's got the eye but doesn't have the contact. He doesn't get on base consistently enough to be a great leadoff choice either. So I think it will be Hill, at least for now, and at least against right-handed pitching. And Hill's going to be playing left field. That's perfect. Our next man up will, in fact, be Manny Pozo. He will be batting second. We can use his contact and his gap power to advance Hill if he hasn't scored himself, and just consistently put pressure on the defense. Our number 3 hitter then becomes Cerulli, and I am fine with that. Cerulli, I think, is a very fine choice to be our next dude. Actually, no, Salgado would be almost the perfect choice as our leadoff guy, because yes, everything else fits into place if I do this. So Salgado will lead off and play DH. Then Hill bats second. And Pozo bats third, which lets Cerulli bat cleanup when he's got plenty of base runners, and then we have Conigliani there to pick up the pieces of whatever Cerulli left behind. Alright, so that is the top part of our lineup all set. Now, Mr. Valdivia. I think you're going to be our starting center fielder. And I see no reason not to start you there. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that. The question is where you hit in the lineup. And I'm thinking 6th seems reasonable. You're pretty good at getting on base. So if the first 5 have cleared the board, you can help reset the table. $59, $64, $75, $53, $52, $78, $66, $69. Yeah, Webb is a little bit better. We're going to go Webb. Daly and Herrera. So, we're going to go ahead and let Okamura back up at each of the 3 corner outfield positions. Or 3 outfield, I guess there's only the 3. Mr. Alex Mancia can also play some outfield, so I definitely want to get him some reps out there as well. Mr. Mancia is also going to be our primary backup in the middle infield, and then Webb's going to back him up. Or Pena, rather. Backup at first, catcher and DH is going to be Mr. Benayoun here. And then, speaking of quality backups, Mancia is going to be our number 1 pinch hitter, followed by Benayoun, followed by Okamura. Our pinch runner is going to be Mr. Okamura. Alright. So what does this lineup lack right now? It lacks 1 extra bat. I wish we had a better backup first baseman and DH than Benayoun. But I think we'll be alright. I'm not just going to copy this over. Now, I said I'm just going to copy it over for one important reason. Hill and Canigiani in particular... Oh no, Canigiani's fine. It's Hill I was actually thinking of. Has a real issue batting people that are left-handed. And so you may ask yourself, why not start like Mancia in that circumstance? And I don't hate that decision, but I think the only way Hill's ever going to hit left-handed pitching is to hit left-handed pitching, and I want him to get that opportunity. So I think for right now, we're going to leave this as is. Now, one last thing to consider here. Hill can steal bases and Salgado can't. So I'm actually going to swap them. Final answer. Although I love having Hill's power a bit lower in the lineup, the point of fact is he can steal bases. And so having him bat leadoff is a little bit more valuable than having Salgado do it, who's still an excellent hitter who gets on base at an excellent clip, but can't really steal bases. So, this is the lineup of the 2054 Pittsburgh Pirates. Our top 5, especially our top 4, I would put up against just about anybody. Do I let Salgado bat third over Pozo? No, I think Pozo's fine batting third. I don't have a problem with that. But the lineup drops off very, very quickly. Only Valdivia has a chance to become a quality hitter, and he's just going to really work at that. Whereas Webb is okay, I guess. Daly has been good in the past, but he's trending in the wrong direction. I'm now basically only paying him for his glove now. I mean, as long as the guy keeps putting up, 2 to 3 wins a season, then I'm still getting my money's worth, but... And Jose Herrera, if he could put up another season like 2053... in 2052, I think I'd be alright with that. Not thrilled about it, but alright with it. Pitching-wise, I think we've got a very, very good rotation and a bullpen that's just littered with question marks. I have some money left, so if I decide to make an upgrade, I could. Oh shit, Moy's option is a player option. Damn it. Alright. Robbie the Hero is gonna cost me some money, that's for sure. Cerule's the big one, though. And he's already 27, so a giant contract doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me. I might just let him ride out his arbitration years. Because while he's been quite effective, I just don't see a lot of point in paying him scads of money just yet. Maybe a 5-year deal would be reasonable for him. What is Mr. Cerulli looking for in life? I'm gonna wait. I am gonna wait. And see what happens this season, and then I'll make a decision about him. Robbie the Hero only wants a 1-year deal. That's fine. We can have a talk about that later on. No, I'm not giving Briones guaranteed starter money. I'm not stupid. I've signed a lot of player options for next season. I can only hope that Moya opts out, but I don't think he will. I have a feeling that Pozo's gonna bite, or Moya's gonna bite me in the ass. Pozo might too. I do have issues about the amount of money he's making. And yes, if he produces 5 to 6 wins a year, he's worth it. But he's also already 33, and he's trending in the wrong direction of the scouting reports. Remember, he used to be a premium contact guy. He's starting to slip a little bit. We're basically betting that he will age gracefully. That he'll give us another 2 to 3 very good seasons, and then as he declines, his decline is nice and gentle. My boy here is a borderline Hall of Famer. I say borderline, but he is borderline. I wish he had a few more All-Star appearances, or a Gold Glove, or a Silver Slugger maybe. A few more accolades, and I feel more comfortable about that. But if Gunnels doesn't make it somehow, and Avila doesn't, I don't know who makes the Hall of Fame from this team. Unless Sean Hill has an amazing career, which he may well have an amazing career. We just don't know yet. We don't know yet. What I do know, my friends, is that this is going to conclude today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. It really helps me out. And it gives you a chance to see brand new episodes of OOTP every Monday and Friday. But until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.